What's up, guys? Lee Moy here, bringing you some weekend motivation. Today we're talking about don't feed the beast. And let me explain that. We all have different things that we struggle with. We'll call them vices, right? Different things that bring us back down, keep us from being where we really want to be. And the problem is that we don't realize that there's certain things that we do and expose ourselves to that keeps us from overcoming these issues. See, it depends how old you are, but once you're at a certain age, like you'll start to see it at some point, you're very, very similar to your parents. And it may take you longer than some people to realize this, but if you look at your parents and analyze their behavior and their thought patterns and the way they talk and the way they behave, and then you look at your own self, you'll notice that there's a lot of similarities. And the reason that is because you were raised by them, you were exposed to them from a very young age and for a very long time. And so now you've adopted their tendencies and their thought patterns and behaviors and things like that. And it's the same thing with what we do in our normal life. The music we listen to, the shows we watch, the books we read, just the things that we're normally exposed to are the things that we become like. You know, people talk a lot about circle of influence and how you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And that's just because those people are influencing us regularly. And if you don't believe me, take a little inventory of the people you hang out with the most with. Take the 5 people that you surround yourself the most with. Look at their qualities. Look at their, the way they think, the way they act, their character, their interests, and then look at yourself. And I guarantee you, it's going to be very, very similar, right? So the problem, when this becomes a problem, is when the things that you surround yourself with, the things that you expose yourself to, are very negative. Because when you expose yourself to negative things, then you have negative thought patterns, you have negative behaviors, right? And the first step to overcoming negative behavior, right? So the first step is acceptance, right? You have to admit there's a problem. You have to say, hey, I want to fix this. And the second step is making sure you're not exposing yourself to things that are going to enhance those problems, right? Because exposing yourself to the wrong things is going to keep you from overcoming those problems. You have to expose yourself to the opposite. I'll use myself as an example. Naturally, I'm kind of a lazy person, right? If I could, I would just sit around and watch TV and kind of do nothing all day. And, at some point it kind of clicked with me, hey, this isn't, the person I want to be. I'm trying to be successful. And so for me, there's 2 things that keep me lazy, right? And the first one is television. And television isn't like all bad. I'm not bashing television or anything, but I know if I sit down and start watching Netflix, and if I commit to like 3 episodes, I'm just gone like all day. I'll just keep watching. I'll keep watching. So I try to avoid that as much as possible. Like I don't even click on Netflix anymore, right? And the second thing for me is waking up late. Like if I wake up at like 10 a.m. if I wake up at 11 a.m., my day is over. I can't function. It's I don't know what it is. It just doesn't happen. So I get myself up early. I avoid watching TV. So you don't feed the beast, right? So if you're like a negative person, you have to make sure you're not exposing yourself to negative things, right? That could be like certain types of music, because some music is like really negative, right? Certain types of shows, certain types of people. People are very, very, very influential to you, right? And if you want to be more positive, you want to be, more growth oriented, you want to be a great parent, you want to be whatever you want to be, you have to expose yourself to those things. And they're all out there, I promise you, whatever you want to be, even if it's negative, which obviously we don't want to be negative, but even if it's negative, you can find things out there to reinforce those beliefs and reinforce that mindset and reinforce that behavior that's going to help you be successful in that area, right? So my suggestion to you, read books. Books are really great because there's books on like any topic you want to find, you can find a book on. And if you read 4, 5, 6, 7 books, you read a book a week or a book a month, right? Even a book every 2 months if you're a really slow reader. But eventually over time, just being exposed to those thoughts over and over and over, and those ideas over and over and over, you're going to slowly subconsciously start adopting them yourself. You'll notice more positive behaviors in your life, right? You'll notice yourself behaving the way that you really want to behave, the direction that you want to take your life, right? So there's books, you can find podcasts. If you have an iPhone, check out podcasts sometimes. There's some really great stuff you can find on there on any subject. There's health and fitness, there's religion, there's business, there's just random positivity, self-development. It's all in there, right? I think there's this app called Stitcher. For people that don't have iPhones, you can check that out, right? Just the things that you watch. There's tons of stuff everywhere. It's the internet, right? You can find almost anything. There's nothing new under the sun. It's all on the internet. So that's really the message for this weekend, right? Don't feed the beast, feed yourself into what you want to become, right? Think about what you want to become, think about your goals, and focus on those things. Expose yourself to those things, absorb those things, have those things constantly, perpetually, consistently in your mind, on your brain, and that's really how you force the negative parts of you out, you force your vices out, bring the positive things in, become who you really want to become.